2023 has been pretty good for video games thus far. Starfield, Mortal Kombat, Baldur's Gate 3, Diablo 4, Tears of the Kingdom, Resident Evil 4. And October looks like it's going to be another month that is absolutely packed with releases. Just sadly, not much in terms of MMOs. I do have a video on MMO test phases and releases for the month of October if you're interested. Otherwise, let's jump right in and see what there is to be excited for. Assassin's Creed Mirage is an action-adventure game developed by Ubisoft Bordeaux and published by Ubisoft. Mirage is the 13th major installment in the Assassin's Creed series and the successor to 2020's Valhalla. Admittedly, I never played Valhalla. I don't think I played any of the Assassin's Creed games after Black Flag. I really enjoyed the original Assassin's Creed with Altair. I really enjoyed the trilogy of games with Ezio. I did not, however, find any enjoyment. Okay, with Connor a little bit, but I just felt like after 2, everything just became much more lighthearted. And I feel like at that point, the game just or the franchise just entered a decline for me and it never really recovered. Mirage is set in Baghdad, features the protagonist Basim, familiar mechanics such as the hidden blade, smoke bombs, throwing knives, and poison darts. It's also taken the franchise back to its roots with a linear style of exploration and narrative focus. Assassin's Creed Mirage released just the other day on October 5th on the PS4, PS5, PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series. It also has an iOS release pending 2024. Not entirely sure how that's gonna work, but I am curious to see what happens with it. Honkai Star Rail is a turn-based anime RPG developed and published by HoYoverse, the same studio behind the critically acclaimed worldwide sensation Genshin Impact. Star Rail features many characters players will likely recognize from Honkai Impact 3rd, another of HoYo's games, like Bronya, Zila, Himeko, and more. It features a segregated world with loading screens separating zones from one another. It has a great narrative, fun turn-based combat, great voice acting, a fun world to explore, and a pretty decent gacha system given the gacha genre is really known for milking every single cent they can from their players. Honkai Star Rail released back in April 2023 and has since become one of the most popular video games around the world, with the PS5 release coming October 11th, finally allowing console gamers to get their hands on the game. And it's the perfect time to, because there's a lot to catch up on, although unfortunately if they haven't been playing on mobile or PC, they're going to have missed some very important characters. Lords of the Fallen is an action RPG developed by Deck 13 and CI Games. It was originally released back in October 2014 for PC, PS4, and Xbox One, and further went on to receive a mobile port in 2017. In 2022, a new Lords of the Fallen RPG was announced, a direct sequel to the original title with a different developer, Hexworks. After a lot of internal drama, Lords of the Fallen was confirmed to be more of a reboot than a sequel, and that's where we're at. And I know that's a little bit confusing. 2 games that have the exact same name, 2 games that have very similar premises. Lords of the Fallen isn't very subtle when it comes to its Souls-like inspiration, but then again, these types of games never really are. The game looks beautiful, features some absolutely brutal fluid action combat, boss fights that'll drive you up a wall, numerous weapons to acquire, and tons of classes to build. Lords of the Fallen releases on October 13th on the PC, PS5, and Xbox Series. Before we discuss any additional games, allow me to thank our incredible patrons over on Patreon. Your guys' support is why I can make videos like this every month, and I deeply appreciate you all being there for me. If you enjoyed the first Spider-Man, you'll probably enjoy this just as much. Spider-Man 2 is an action-adventure game developed by Insomniac Games and published by Sony. The game features 2 different protagonists, Peter Parker and Miles Morales. Players will alternate between the 2 characters in accordance with the story. The game is set once again in New York City, where you'll acquire new abilities, collect numerous suits, and freely roam the world without restrictions. Insomniac have built on the combat found in its predecessor, taking full advantage of the PS5's hardware. It's a darker game with a darker setting and features Kraven the Hunter, Harry Osborn, and Venom wreaking havoc across Manhattan. Spider-Man 2 releases onto the PS5 as a PS5 exclusive on October 20th. I'm just hoping that it doesn't suffer much in a way that Final Fantasy 16 did by being a PS5 exclusive. Not that Final Fantasy 16 was a bad game, it just didn't sell nearly as much as it could have had it released on the PS4 as well, or the PS5 and the Xbox Series, or PS5 and PC. I'm just saying. Alan Wake was an action-adventure game developed by Remedy Entertainment, released back in 2010. Yes, it has actually been 13 years since the original release of Alan Wake, which is why I'm kind of ecstatic for Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2 is a survival horror game developed by Remedy Entertainment and published by Epic Games. This is a direct sequel to the original game following the best-selling thriller novelist Alan Wake, who has been trapped in an alternate dimension for the last 13 years. Alan Wake was an action-adventure game that had some horror themes, whereas Alan Wake 2 is a survival horror game. The story of the game follows Alan as he attempts to escape the dimension he's trapped in by writing a horror story involving Saga Anderson, an FBI agent. Players will play as both Alan and Saga respectively, each with their own unique storyline. This is a very interesting twist, but given I really enjoyed the original, I can't wait to get my hands on the sequel. Alan Wake 2 is releasing onto the PS5, the Xbox Series, and PC on October 27th. Reverse 1999 is one of the biggest gacha releases of 2023, developed and published both by Bluepock. Reverse 1999 is set in a world where time is reversing, erasing events, people, and both history and the future as we're slowly thrown backwards through time. We take on the role of the Timekeeper, who leads a group of interesting characters in an effort to save reality. Reverse 1999 is a turn-based anime RPG with players deploying a few units recruited via gacha in the story, each with their own personalities, affinities, weapon, and fighting styles. The game is very linear, very story-focused. There's a small map that you navigate across, selecting from a variety of different missions, progressing through the game's chapters. This is an absolutely gorgeous game with a very deep, complex narrative. I've played the beta, the global version of the beta, and I think I probably streamed it for about a week straight. I had immense amounts of fun in it, and I cannot wait to be able to play this once it fully releases. And the devs, who I am actually in contact with, are very friendly, very nice, very hardworking people. Thus, I'm really, really hoping that this is an overwhelming success for them. Reverse 1999 is releasing onto PC, Android, and iOS on October 26th. And while they're what I argue are the biggest releases of October, and are what I'm most excited for this month, there are definitely some noteworthy additions that I wouldn't necessarily say I'd buy this month, but I would probably purchase once they go on sale at a discount, once I have more time to invest into them, if there is ever a point in my life where that is the case. Detective Pikachu returns for the Switch, that released on October 6th. Total War Pharaoh for PC, that releases on October 15th. I'm a huge Total War fan, so this is definitely a must-buy for me. I absolutely love Total War Shogun 2. Sonic Superstars for the PS4, PS5, Xbox Series, Xbox One, Switch, and PC, releasing on October 17th. Super Mario Bros. Wonder on the Switch, releasing on October 20th, and Girls Frontline 2's open beta, which is going on this month. Ultimately, a pretty good month for new games. Admittedly, 2023 overall has drained thousands of dollars out of me, and the remainder of the year shows absolutely no signs of slowing down. I just wish that the MMO genre had releases as frequently as the gacha genre, and maybe even the non-gacha genre does, because there are legitimately dozens of new games, dozens of new gacha games releasing every single month. Many of them are admittedly absolutely abhorrent, horrid abominations of a game, but they do all generate millions of dollars and garner millions of active players once they release for whatever reason. Either way, if none of these games look like games that you'd be interested in playing, absolutely no problem. I have 2 different videos on screen right now that might be of more interest to you.